to you by Skillshare. This is the reality of filming a video. You just like want to get into the good vibe and the good energy. Let's do it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. If you are returning, it has been so long, I feel like, since I sat down and filmed a video for you guys, and that's why I'm so excited to talk about today's topic. I kind of wanted to talk about this because I was sitting with myself and I was having a lot of realizations about the fact that as you get older, and especially I think growing into your womanhood, and if you're somebody who's going into your 20s, especially just like me, you start to realize that there's a lot of harsh truths about life that you kind of have to learn how to accept without taking it personally or without feeling like the whole world is against you, basically. Not necessarily just as a woman, but as a human being in general. And I think realizing these things will be very beneficial to you and will lead you towards success, peace, happiness, all good things. And now that I have realized them, my life is so much more smoother. So let's get into the video. Let me stop blabbering. Let's talk about the first one, which is happy girls are the prettiest. And let me explain. I feel like as a woman, when you're younger, you have this weird tendency to really try and perform for other people. And I've kind of talked about this before. There's this need to want to be the most dangerous and unattainable woman, or the most beautiful in the eyes of others. And just like when you walk past, you know, people break their necks and they stare. I think every woman that I've ever met, I've ever known, all of my friends, even just me, I've always found this to be the case, where we just, all you want is validation, all you want is all of these things, and you really just want to be the prettiest. But what I have realized growing up and becoming an adult is that happy women are the most beautiful women. Because when a woman is truly happy, she is tapped into her power, which means everything is in alignment, everything feels good, everything makes sense. And there's a lot of things that can pull you out of that power. For instance, being in a relationship that doesn't serve you. I've been there myself before. Being in friendships that don't serve you, and being in environments that especially don't serve you. The thing about environments that I stress, and the reason I stress about it so much, is because all of the advice I'm giving you goes out the window if you're in the wrong environments. Happy woman is like a magnet to society. She just attracts, and you really don't have to work for very much anymore. Like, that's what you realize. The more you focus on becoming happier as a person, you attract things so effortlessly, and you don't have to go out and search for them. Even if you put two women next to each other, and one of the women happened to be more conventionally attractive, the one that is living in her truth will always be perceived as more beautiful, and that is the truth of the matter. Like, you think that looks are everything, but looks are not everything. And I touched on this before as well. When I was younger, like, I used to be attracted to like a melancholic vibe, or like somebody who was like really sad, or like had a veil of sadness on them, because that's what I reflected outward too. But it is not in the least way attractive to me anymore. And it's not to shame anybody for the emotions that they're experiencing. I think pain on an authentic level is very beautiful, and when you're close to somebody and they're connecting with you and sharing what it is that they feel, I think that's very beautiful. But it's different. It's different for when the pain is coming from a place of dwelling in something. And this is why I say feel, don't dwell. I remind myself of this constantly, because I'm like, if I'm sitting and I'm rotting in a state that I'm unable to pull myself out of, then I'm dwelling. I'm not actually feeling the emotions and honoring my body. Instead, I'm dwelling and I'm sitting in my own pit of self-guilt and self-pity that's not going to do anything for me, not going to push me forward. And if anything, the only people that are going to feel bad for me are other people doing the exact same thing, and you do not want to stay stuck in that cycle. It is not healthy for a woman to live in a state of stress. It is not healthy for a woman to be that depleted, because it's unnatural to our bodies. And the thing is, like, you could be doing, and here's my piece of advice for anybody getting into trying to work on themselves and all these things. Like, if you're stuck or if you're having trouble, you need to take a look at one thing and one thing only that's going to change everything for you. You might be doing everything right, but what are your cortisol levels looking like? And I don't mean to sound scientific or because I'm not an expert, and I'm definitely not a health professional. I'll obviously take my advice with a grain of salt, but this is just the experience I had. I swear to you, if you look at people who are like before and after, when they lowered their cortisol levels, they look so different, and their face literally changes. Like, they have less puffiness, their blemishes are heavily reduced, and like the texture of their skin is a lot smoother because they take care of themselves. And there's so many ways to lessen your cortisol. You can, working out and eating good and sleeping, just like the fundamental things of being a healthy, happy human being. You need to prioritize that. That is my definition of happiness, is living a life that is completely curated to me, my passions, my love, my desires, and I plan to keep going with that. So I think that that's a really important thing. And even like you become very light, like your energy is very lighthearted, and people love to be around you that way. Learning skills is key to making yourself feel better and develop as a human being. Say for example, learning beginner's meditation, or even curing workout procrastination. This is where Skillshare comes in. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry experts who know exactly what they're talking about, so you can learn front to back literally anything that you're interested in. You guys know that I've been a fan of Skillshare for some time now because I think that it's a community that really advocates for consistent self-development, which I am all for. Right now I am taking a course on dancing. It's the Afrobeats Masterclass. Listen, I know I have rhythm, but I just want to learn how to improve my movement a little bit, and I haven't danced like freely in a long time, and it actually feels super nice to get back into dancing. So I am taking up that masterclass right now. It's by Shay Dance. There are courses on interior design. Another one I've been exploring, Modern Money Habits by Justin Bridges. That's one I just started, and you can explore so many more. I also want to make note of the fact that they do have their fall learning theme that just opened, as well as their back to school theme. If you think of yourself as like a video game character, it's like every time you learn a new skill, you're like unlocking a new level, which is how I see it. If there's a skill that you've been looking to take up, you can find it on Skillshare and start learning it this second. So if you guys are interested, Skillshare is giving you a free trial when you use the link in my description. And let's get back into the video. It's the way that people carry themselves, and it's the way that people think about themselves as well. Because if you think about yourself a certain way, other people will match whatever you see yourself as. There was a certain point in my life when, regardless of whatever compliments I received from anybody or whatever anybody told me, I'd be like, yeah, okay, like they're just saying I'm pretty, whatever. I didn't feel beautiful. Like I might have looked like something else on the outside, but I never felt beautiful, because beauty is truly a feeling. Like you can put yourself together